So we're here at J&F Customs to turn my 370Z from this to this. For a long time, I've had my 9 Lives Racing chassis mounted front lip and I have not installed it. But today is the day. And there's always a lot of people that say you can't fit a lot of stuff in the back of the Z. I'm people. But funny enough, I was able to fit my whole entire setup in the back of the car. And I had to push the passenger side seat a little bit forward. But here we go. And previously I tried to install this, but in the last video I needed some fabrication. I was in California, I moved, so now I'm here at J&F. Oh my god, what a terrible point. I'm here at J&F and he's gonna help me finally get the splitter on because it's been too long, and then plus also there's so much downforce in the rear but then almost nothing up front, so it does make it very unbalanced. So this will finally correct that. Plus I feel like it will make the car look like 1,000,000 times better. And I mean, I don't know. And also the bracket kit that I got from 9 Lives Racing is from a 350Z. So he's gonna go ahead and modify that to make it work for the 370. Let's get into it. Well, this is Fernando. I always called him J&F. It was really stupid. So I was like, let me actually like shout your real name so that way people know who to call. But yeah, well, as you guys heard, we're gonna go ahead and get the template on, well, bumper off template on, and let's get this started.
Was a bitch looking delightful. Text up on my wrist, it cost a handful. She like, who is she? I said the main hoe.
This was the part that I was talking about that Fernando's gonna go ahead and modify. So this is for a 350Z. As you guys can tell, I'm no zoologist, but I can say that that's definitely a 370. So he's gonna take some measurements to see how far we can extend this down. But also, man, I always love like what's actually in the shop, like, and also what we just pushed out. It's like slowly start becoming more of an American car guy. Slowly. Oh yeah, he's like, get that flex in, dog. Damn, dude. Look at 6'2", right?
Yeah.
Jeez, Cerakoted, like matching everything, and it goes so well with the paint. Like that's fun. Oh, and the headers too. Damn, dude. Can't hide wealth, dog. This is amazing. And also the wheels, everything goes so hard with this, bro. This is number 2.
And then we're gonna, you said something about bringing it forward, was it?
To reverse it, because it was it's
this
too,
length
yeah,
this way.
yeah, it was too forward, so it was actually supposed to be mounted the other way, but I wanted to see if I can be ghetto and make it work like that.
So technically, aside from making it wider and stronger, if we invert it this length this way, works out.
Yeah, it just look, let me show you. So it just has to be like turn, this has to it has to be higher, but this needs to be turned around.
Got it. So when this is there, if this is this way, you're saying?
Yeah, it needs to be that way. Yeah, yeah, and it's touching like the core support here, and it needs to be lower to clear under, because the chassis mounted splitter goes all the way back to like under the oil pan. So as long as we can get that front part installed, then I can do the rear part at home. So that way you can get home. You know what I mean?
But this part, just to be clear, this distance of like 2 inches, if that were under, is that distance of the splitter down here good enough, or there'll be a gap under the bumper? Should we test it first?
Yeah, we should test it.
Right? Okay,
yeah.
let's test it just to be sure. Right. Because looking at it, I'm trying to see what's the best options. That this stays steel at first, but I also have 316 aluminum, and if we can make it wider and weld it to this part, inverted, that would work too, and then we powder coat it.
Okay.
This area is good. This area is strong. It's this area that's too weak.
Okay.
This is strong. But if we invert it, maybe we have to notch and we do something so I can still clear, but not keep us 2 inches lower than your subframe essentially, because then the splitter might have a gap from your bumper.
Okay,
so
cool.
Let's try it.
All right, so what I started working on was, I'm sure for the people who have been following me, you guys have seen that like my hood is kind of like popped up on this side. Well, it's mainly because when I installed the hood pins, though I still feel like it was a very creative spot because I didn't have to do much cutting, it still needed a little bit of work over on that side. So I went ahead and just brought the pin down a little bit, and check this out. So now, as I put the bumper on, shouldn't be so bad. Let's see. There we go. And let's see. Like I said, that side over there used to like kind of pop up a little bit, and it looks now to be even. And the thing about carbon fiber too is that if you leave it slanted like that, especially in the heat really does morph carbon. So the hood unfortunately starts to flex like that naturally, but now we're fixed. All right.
Let's see if it makes sense.
So it's yeah, there we go.
This piece goes like this?
Yeah, I think so. I would have to look at the splitter
this
again.
goes onto that groove. Alright, carefully.
So as you can see, Fernando is seeing how it all lines up because he already has like a template of a bracket. And then of course it's a two-piece system, so we got to make sure that it all clears well. But so far I am super stoked because I've been wanting this splitter on for about a year now. I've had it for a year and a half, so it's about that time.
Obviously again it's hovering, so once the bracket's on it, it'll fit it snug. But
Yeah, dude, hell yeah.
I think that's as good as it's gonna get, like height-wise, and that's still with the bottom panel. So you can look to the side here. If you want to get some, you can see the bottom panel.
Oh yeah, see what you
And
mean.
the bottom panel is also short, 1/2 inch. Like the support is 3 inch, supposed to be 3.5. So it's gonna be snugged up perfect.
Okay. We do have these brackets right here to lock it in on the side, so that way, you know, there's more support. Because, you know, the support's down the middle, but even Fernando was telling me, like, if you're gonna leave like this, then just take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, no beating on the car, which is totally fine, because I have no intention. So brackets, he's gonna go ahead and get that situated, and we're gonna come back. I want people to enjoy their family time and their off time. Since he helped me out on a national holiday, he's doing me a solid, so yeah, we gotta take care of the homies. But we'll come back. We're obviously gonna finish it up, get it mounted now, and come back and finish everything with powder coating.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we should laser engrave this thing, but not yet, you know what I mean? And then we'll get the side supports on, so that way we can get like a full finished look. So probably won't be this video, but I mean, that's fine because then it gives an excuse to come back and just film more content with homies. So I'm never gonna be upset with that. But so far, it's coming together so nice. Like, it's really, really nice to finally see this thing on, and I've been waiting for so long. All right, so both temporary mounts are now on, and we're moving on to trimming the bumper a little bit, so on these slits right here, because it's almost getting on, but it's just pushing up a little bit more. So we need to cut that a little bit so that way we can get this on fully, and to make sure that the bumper itself is aligning with the lip, because obviously I don't want to drill holes into this and then it's misaligned. All right, now we're at that point where he's just making sure that like the lines that are here are matching up on both sides, because like I said last clip, I would hate that we drill into it and then all of a sudden we gotta do more touches. But so far so good, man. It's coming out like fire.
Yeah, you better for sure it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Hold down that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.
Yeah, that thing is on, dude.
But that movement is where the side and the rear will lock in. You get me? Once this is on and the side supports, you won't have this plate.
Okay.
But the bumper will help it snug now.
Okay.
So let's try
Let's
it.
see how it fits.
Yeah, you better
Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if I tried it. You're the artist, I'm the mess.
The line looks good. Bro, for eyeballing it, look, this line, look how it opens up. Look how it opens up.
My dog, bro. Damn.
Fuck.
I know, bro. So I need to get a couple more push clips, but
Oh.
nah, I mean, no, this thing will be on. I'm happy to see it mounted, but let's get this thing buttoned up enough to get home.
Yeah.
I'll drive it nice, and then yeah, we'll get some B-roll of it after. Oh man, like I said, I am so stoked. So there's a couple of areas that I'm gonna fix, like the bumper is being pushed on, so it's hard for it to get good clearance there. Like, it still has a little bit of gap, not clearance, but like tightness. But overall, holy hell, this looks freaking sick. Super close to being functional, but we just have a little bit more work to do, and we'll come back to finish that up. Thank you, bro.
Yo, it looks good.
Yeah, right? I'm like, damn,
Not bad.
this is tight. New day, and before I close out this video, yes, it's going to be closed out before it's 100% done because I have to go back to J&F. So I have to go ahead and start finishing up the splitter, and I need to get the side mounts on just because I've been driving it around for about half a day now, and there's no issue in a sense of like nothing happened, but it's more about just being safe and making sure that the lip doesn't like drag on the ground or anything, which I know it won't, but it's just like, be safe, you know what I'm saying? So let's get the side mounts on. Let's see if I can find a place to mount it, and then yeah, that should be it. So now what I need to do is get the support here and then probably bolt it up to like somewhere on the side of the core support to see if that would work. But these mounts work just fine. You can feel the difference when on the highway, because before the car would kind of lift up a little bit too much because of the rear wing, while this is starting to help bring it down up front. So I ran the Nine Lives Racing splitter wing for a long time, no issue. But it's like, if you have any intention of actually like tracking your car, you're gonna slow yourself a lot just having the wing, but then nothing to balance it up front. That's a lot of downforce back there, not a lot up here. So, and also I'm trying to stick within some rules because I'm probably gonna have to change certain things for grid life, because I do plan to kind of see if maybe I can compete next year. The goal is to do that this year, but obviously the move and other things that happen has slowed me down. So I want to get some seat time this year, get used to the car, up my driver ability, and see where it goes. Basic for now. This will get welded. I don't know if I said in the video earlier, but this is from Nine Lives Racing as well too, before a 350Z. So you got to make it work for a 370. To make it more rigid, he's going to weld this together, so that way it's like we don't have to worry about that. And also we still have like, you know, just the bolts here that go in to secure it all and then drill right into there. But this thing, sturdy. Okay, so I might have found a really good spot to mount the side rods. Check me out. On 3 Fabrications, I don't know. But I went ahead and mounted the piece that you get that's normally supposed to go like here on a 350Z, but since obviously 370, that's 20 more than 50, I mounted it here, which it now has enough tension to pull up the sides. It's fine, you know, a lot more stable. Tighten that up, so now it's not like loose, but now it's literally like shaking the entire car. Like, look at the hood, look at the hood, look at my fiance, then the hood, then the fiance, then the hood, then the fiance. We in the hood, we out here. But overall, it's starting to come together. So I'm going to show you guys how I did it on the right side. So I positioned the bracket where the side mounts go on, and I made sure to use permanent marker to mark where the holes are going to be, and then I drilled it out. Then I placed the bracket there, of course putting all the screws and the hardware that goes on the bottom in. Then use your tools to tighten them in. The part that's supposed to go to the core support, I mounted it near the headlight instead. I just felt like this would be an easier install, though we have to find out if it's risky. But of course, take off the nut from the rod so that way you can slide it in through, and then put the nut back on so that way you can tighten it, which then is going to bring up the splitter. And before you tighten it, you have to cut the rod a little bit so that way you can tighten it and bring the splitter up with it. The bumper didn't fit perfect with that bracket in, so I cut this little area off of the V2 front bumper so that way we can have some clearance. Of course, don't be sucio, clean your shit, because I hate when people work on stuff and it just take a moment, clean it. And then here we are, we're gonna go ahead and test fit the front bumper, and I found out it didn't fit still. So I went ahead and trimmed the bottom of this because the bumper comes with this little lip. So I just went ahead and took that off so that way I can have perfect fitment on my car. And here we go. It came out amazing, guys. Check this out. And it's that simple and done. The Nine Lives Racing chassis mounted front splitter is amazing. It not only makes the car look great, but it's functional, it's working. And you can already feel it like driving on the highway, or maybe it's a placebo, I don't know. But the front's already balancing out the rear, which obviously the Nine Lives Racing spoiler, pretty huge, you know, like it's big Wang Gang for a reason. The front's supposed to balance it out and make the car just feel a lot better. But now we have to test out the theory. I want to see how it actually feels on track. But before that, I have to go back to J&F Customs, get everything finished up, because this is only the first step of it. But if you guys haven't already, hit the like button. If you're stoked on the build, because there's a lot of you guys that have been here since the beginning and know what this car used to look like and what it looks like now, huge progress. But subscribe. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. And make sure to give J&F Customs a follow. And Nine Lives Racing, if you're interested, I'll leave the link to the spoiler and the front splitter. Not sponsored, but I would just love to help out a company that's doing tight work. But thank you all, stay blessed. I'll see you all in the next video.